Hi, my name's Kellie Burrus, and I'm here today with FacePaintcom to just talk a little bit about me and why I love face painting. I have been painting and drawing for as long as I could. I've always loved art. I love makeup. Anything that I can do something with my hands, I've loved. After high school, I did go on to study illustration and graphic design. And after a few years there, I decided it really was not the way I wanted to go. It was very high strung. It seemed like people very cutthroat. They had long hours, and I was like, no, you know what? I'd like to have a family that I can be there and see them and everything. So I have a lot of family members who are in education. They were like, you should really look into teaching. You should be an art teacher. So I transferred over to Adelphi, and I majored in art education. And I am a certified New York State art teacher. Just don't teach at the moment. After I graduated, when I graduated, I was pregnant with my youngest son, Ty, and I stayed home with them for a little bit. I got a small part-time job in the area, and I just stayed home. But anyone who knew about me, like anyone who knows me closely, they're like, oh, Kellie loves to paint. So can you paint my wall? Can you paint these glasses? I have a gift. Can you paint a portrait? Whatever it is. And thank you. If one of you are watching, you have commissioned me. So my mom actually was the head of the Women's Auxiliary at the American Legion. And she was like, Kellie, we're doing a breakfast with the Easter Bunny. Why don't you come paint faces? And I was like, okay, I've never done that before. But I did go down to Michael's and I got a little snazaroo kit. And I came with a little how-to book, cute little bunnies and stuff. And I went down there and I painted. And it was, I was surprised at how gratifying that was. Like, you really get like the best part of kids during that time too. Like, they sat down, they were like so excited. You show them the mirror and they're like, oh my God, I'm an Easter Bunny, and oh my God, I'm a puppy. And they're barking and they're hopping around, and it's adorable. And the parents like, oh my God, you're amazing. I'm like, really? This is like hilarious, little spider. Okay. But it was fun. So I told my mom, I said, listen, if you have another event, I'm happy to come down and paint again, because that was a lot of fun. So she asked me to come back down, and I was painting at a fishing tournament, and a clown who was there, who was not in clown, who was Rose Miranda. She was there, and she's a local face painter and clown, and she said, hey, she's like, you're pretty good at this, like, because I was doing it for free. She's like, if you come with me and paint at this farm, she's like, I'll pay you. And I'm like, oh, paying me sounds good. If someone's gonna, this is awesome. Okay. So after that, I painted with her a few times for a few years at a local farm, petting zoo. And we just kind of like opened Pandora's box together and discovered this whole industry. We started going to conventions and everything. And it was just the best time. It was incredible. It was, I was getting paid and having a great time. Face painting brings us to all different kinds of places. You're always in different kinds of groups, meeting different kinds of people. I probably learned more about culture the whole time I'm painting faces than I could imagine. And that goes also with very young children or special needs children. And I do have some background in that because of my degree in education. And so I'm always careful when I'm going to paint someone who's very young or somebody who is special needs, and I'll make sure they're really comfortable. If they're not comfortable, I do not force anything on them, or I'll offer their hand or their arm or whatever, something else in their face. Kids are very uncomfortable with their eyes being painted, so I'll take a dry sponge and I'll just kind of pat there first and say like, oh, are you comfortable with that? Are you comfortable? And if they're like, yeah, and then we'll go on and we'll try and go from there. And that's what I try to do with that population. But they love it too. They get excited. Special needs, they're just joining in on the fun. With that being said, there's a lot of funny stuff, of course. Really, there's almost always more funny stuff that happens in face painting. Like I was saying, kids in this industry, you get I feel like the best part of them. I mean, they're sitting down before you. You're going to transform them into something amazing. Even the adults. We do lots of adults parties too, and they're all very excited. And, now they're this character, this creature, whatever the case may be. And some of the funniest things I've done, body paintings are funny. Those are funny sometimes. Just we're all laughing because, hey, gotta get under that butt cheek better, whatever. It's hilarious. And or like I have kids have hilarious requests. Like one little girl, she wanted to be a cheeseburger face, so gave her a cheeseburger face, and it's like dripping cheeses and everything, and she was like delighted. She loved that, and it was funny. And I also had somebody ask me to paint her with chicken pox. So we don't see chicken pox anymore. So, but she had the little chicken pox, little red smoogies, and that was funny too. There's always incredible things. I've gone from one party where I'm in Queens, and it's an island theme party, and they've got people dancing with snakes, and I'm putting like crystals, and it's all adults. And then, the next day I'm at a Sweet 16, and then the next day I'm doing body paint. So it's all over. It's always exciting. You never know exactly what's coming next, which is good and bad, but it's always good. It's really always good. And I just love face painting, and I'm so happy to be here, and I love the community, and yeah, man. There's not a lot of difficult situations in face painting as far as I'm concerned. But in the beginning, when I was first painting faces, sometimes I didn't really fully take in account how many kids were going to be at the party. And I had showed up for like 2 parties where I was like, whoa, like one time there was like 300 kids. I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to get these kids painted in 3 hours, like 3 or 4 hours. I can't remember, it was a few years ago. That was years ago. And I just took those one strokes and those rainbow cakes and just the whole time. There was actually another PT mom there, and because it was for school, and I let her use my paints too. And we covered all 300 kids. It was quick, but they were all happy. They got glitter, they got rainbows, or a little Batman thing or whatever. It was all one stroke. It was quick. It was fast. Spiders, always with the spiders. And yeah, always thank goodness for the one strokes, because those help out in really quick painting needs. Hi, my name's Kellie Burrus, and I'm here today with FacePaintcom to talk a little bit about me and why I love face painting. I have been painting and drawing and doing makeup for as long as I can remember. I've always loved art, any form of art. And after high school, I did go on and study graphic design and illustration for a few years until I actually took a good look at the field, took some trips with my class. And I love my classes. I love my professors. But actually looking at the field seemed like maybe it wasn't the way I wanted to go professionally. The hours were really long, and everything was very cutthroat. People seemed to like steal each other's designs and everything. So I was speaking to some people in my family. There are quite a few teachers and people in education, and they were like, hey, why don't you consider being an art teacher? So I transferred over, and I did finally get my degree in art education. Right after college, I had my second son, and I stayed home with both of them for a little bit of time. I had a part-time job, but anyone who knew me personally, my friends and family, they all knew that I loved to paint and draw. So I was asked quite often to come and help them out with any kinds of art projects they had. So they might ask me to paint a mural on their family member's wall, or they did ask me to come paint a portrait as a gift. So they asked me to do a portrait painting as a gift for them, or painting wine glasses, anything like that. A lot of the times I did everyone's makeup for weddings or any kind of formal event. People would say, hey, do my makeup, come put my lashes on, things like that. So, and I loved it. I would always do those things happily. And one year, my mother was the president of the Women's Auxiliary at the American Legion. And she asked if I would come down and paint faces, volunteer my time and paint faces for the Breakfast with the Easter Bunny. So I'd never done it before, but I happily went over to Michael's and I got a little snazaroo kit, and had a little how-to book in there. And I went to it painting little tiny bunnies and puppy dogs and everything on the kids, and it was awesome. It was like instant gratifications. The kids had a great time. Like, you transform them into a bunny or a puppy dog, and now they're bouncing around, they're barking and everything. They loved it, and their parents loved it. So I went from painting like portraits that took me like 40 hours in oil painting. And people are like, oh yeah, that's a nice portrait. And then I went to painting little bunnies on kids' cheeks and things, and they were like, oh yeah, that's the best thing. So it was a lot more like instant gratification. It was exciting. The kids loved it. I loved hanging out with the kids and everything. So I told my mom, I said, you know what, that was a good time. I was like, I would totally come and do that again if you needed me to. So a few months later, my mother asked me to come down and paint at another event that the American Legion was having, a fundraiser. While I was there, a clown who was not in clown at the moment saw me, and she was like, you know, you're pretty good at this. If you come with me to paint at this local farm and petting zoo, I'll pay you. And I was like, that sounds like a good idea. Getting paid sounds awesome. So, and her name is Rose Miranda. We're still friends today. We still share gigs, get together, jam, have lunch. It's awesome. She's literally like a few blocks from me. It's hilarious. And we just I painted at the petting zoo with her for a few years, and we just kind of opened up Pandora's little box together and discovered this whole entire industry. And it's been a great time. I love it. And being face painters and being in the entertainment industry, you're always at a party. You're at some kind of party, some kind of event, some kind of celebration. And so you're in a lot of different cultures. You're with a lot of different kinds of groups of people. So I can be with a very elderly population. I can be with middle-aged, and then I can be with very young children and special needs. And special needs and very young children, mostly I just noticed that they don't really like things over their eyes. So I never force them. I don't get frustrated or irritated with them. And I always make sure that they're comfortable with the painting they're asking for. Hey, the kids will say, hey, I want to get like my whole face painted, like this and that. So I'll take a little dry sponge and just pat it over their eyes just to make sure they're comfortable with it. And if they're comfortable with it, we go ahead and we give them the painting they're asking for. Otherwise, I offer, hey, you want to put that on the cheek maybe? Or you want to put it on your hand? There's always another option, and that's usually how I deal with anything that comes up there in those situations. There's a lot of really funny and a lot of challenging situations that come up in face painting. One of the interesting challenges I find is when you have to make the same design feminine and masculine. So you have a couple who's like, hey, I want to be a scary dragon. I'm a masculine scary dragon, and I want to be a feminine beautiful dragon. So for women or anyone who wants to be a feminine dragon, just add like lashes with the paintbrushes, like lashes on the edges, kind of give it more of a makeup-y feel, lipstick, lots of glitter, and now it's feminine. And for the masculine design, you would just throw some tribal in there. Tribal always masculines everything up. Or use strong, heavy lines with lots of edges, make things a little bigger, a little beefier, kind of give it a strong brow. That always works for me so far. But I'm still learning, still seeing what else works out there. And then there's a lot of hilarious things that happen in face painting and body painting also. One time I had this little girl asking me to give her chickenpox. I don't know where she learned about chickenpox, but she did learn about chickenpox and she wanted to have chickenpox. So I'm painting these little dots, I'm smudging, I'm making it look like there's welts, and her friends are laughing hysterically. Her parents are like, what is happening? What? You have chickenpox? But it was hilarious, everybody was laughing. One little girl asked me to give her a cheeseburger face. And that was funny too. So I gave her a cheeseburger face with cheeses and things dripping down the sides. That was funny. Or even in body painting, a lot of people wonder like, hey, you know, what is that? Like they're naked, oh my God. But it's very professional. People are there, we're all there to do our job. They're gonna be dancing, I'm gonna be painting. And sometimes it's funny though, like, I gotta get under that butt cheek, but it's hilarious. And then it's another opportunity to laugh, and it's a great time. I love it. It's always a party. And I love the face painting community, and I'm just super happy to be here.